Hi, Fatals. How's it going? My name is Ruby Hart, and I am here with a chocolate orange, aka Akko. How's it going, Akko?
I'm doing great. How are you, Ruby?
I'm fantastic, and I'm so excited for your run, which we're going to be seeing in just a few minutes here. So, Perspective is a game that I feel like so many people have probably never seen before, but it received a ton of acclaim and incredible reviews from the people who know it. So, for the other Fatals who might not be familiar, can you tell us a little bit about the game?
Yeah, sure. So, Perspective is a student game that was made by students at the DigiPen Institute of Technology, which you may have heard of from a little title called Narbacular Drop, which is like the predecessor to Portal, which is another puzzle platformer that I'm sure most of you have heard of. Perspective is a similar puzzle platformer, but it is much more around the idea of like this 2D, 3D idea that it has going on. And it's, of course, not that well known, but I highly recommend people go and check it out because it's such an incredible experience, whether you're playing casually, whether you're speedrunning it. It's great.
Yeah, I just looking at it, I'm a huge fan of 2.5D games because they take what I love about 3D forced perspective games like Superliminal and almost mix it with the 2D platformers we love, like classic Super Mario Brothers games or so many more. But I feel like with so many speedrunners, we tend to lean towards, oh, I love the mechanics in 2D games or I love the mechanics in 3D first person games. And this blends those two worlds. So how does that impact the way that it works mechanically? Like, what is it like moving through this game itself?
Yeah, so Perspective is really challenging, I would say, in that regard, where we are constantly trying to balance optimizing our movement in 2D and optimizing our movement in 3D. You mentioned forced perspective, which is a very important element of perspective, as it turns out, where we essentially the player character changes size based on how far away you are from it. It stays the same relative size on your screen. So what that means is if we're farther away from it, we can cover bigger distances, but that also comes at the cost that we have to move around in 3D. So there's this really interesting give and take that we go through in order to optimize movement and perspective.
Oh, that's so cool. And I feel like this is such a niche game, and I love finding off the beaten path indie games. There's something magical about finding something and being able to introduce your friends to it. Where did you first discover this game? When did it walk into your life?
So I mentioned Narbacular Drop and Perspective earlier. When I first found this game, it was, I want to say I was in middle school or high school. I had just come off playing Portal, and this is like a decade ago at this point.
Yeah.
Right after that, I was hungry for more puzzle platformers, and I learned about Narbacular Drop, and then I learned about Perspective right off of that. And so I just became enamored with this game at that time, and I played it so much, but I never really revisited it until about a year and a half ago, where I played it for a little Celeste community marathon that we have. It's called Archithon. I was thinking of what kind of game I could run for that because the whole thrust of Archithon is that we play non-Celeste games. It's Celeste runners playing non-Celeste games. And so I was looking for something to play.
Fun.
Right.
Yeah.
So Perspective just seemed like the perfect, short, sweet, really entertaining thing to put up on stream. And I had a blast learning it and playing it.
I adore that because you have these people who mutually love the same kind of games, introducing each other to more games that you can just fall in love with and introduce each other to. That's incredible. And I feel like with Fatals, that is such a key part of this community is sharing that love for games as a women-led community
Absolutely.
of gamers. And you work with us and do so much incredible work for Fatals. So talk to me about your work with Fatals, the things that you do and what you really put emphasis on to help grow this community.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am working in the studio here this week as a producer. I just came off my first shift last night. It was a wonderful time. Shout outs to all the wonderful hosts and runners that I worked with. And we're constantly working in the studio here, just trying to make sure that we have this great production as well as a great experience for our runners and our hosts and everyone involved in it. And I just am really thankful for the opportunity to just be able to help out the Fatales community in that way and to uplift women in this way.
Absolutely. Well, as someone who now, I already knew you from online before, but now getting the chance to work with you, just thank you for everything you do here.
Thank you too.
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, it's an honor to be here, and I can't wait to work with you more.
Yeah.
And I really can't wait to see the Perspective run. Y'all, you want to make sure to stick around for this. This 2.5D puzzle platformer is such an interesting one. So do not go anywhere. Perspective is going to be coming up right after this. This is the Inbounds run. And one other thing I want to mention, which I know that you teased a little bit earlier, is you're going to be showing off some strats that have never been used in the speedrun before, right?
That's right. So I got in contact with the world record holder, or rather, he got in contact with me a couple of weeks before the event, and we were just chatting about the run and about various things with in terms of like clips and stuff like that. And he sent me an unlisted video of some new skips that he had found that are not even implemented in the world record.
That's
so
amazing.
I'm super excited to get to show those off in just a few minutes here, right?
Yeah, I feel like it's such an exciting thing to see new strats being premiered for the first time. So the fact that people haven't even seen this in practice runs, it is so exciting. So everyone, make sure you stick around for that run. Perspective Inbounds on PC is coming up right after this. Don't go anywhere.
All right. For those of you who are just joining us, you are watching Flame Fatales, which is presented by Frame Fatales, an all-women community for those who are interested in speedrunning, charity events, and gaming. In addition to our two flagship events, Frost Fatales and Flame Fatales, which you're watching right now, we have a supportive community Discord with activities year-round and includes Game of the Month and randomizer events. So if you would like to join the Frame Fatales Discord server, send a DM to the Frame Fatales Twitter account or the GDQ Instagram account. You can also send an email to framefatales@gamesdonequick.com and we'll hook you up with an invite that way. Remember, all women, whether you're cisgender, transgender, non-binary, and gender non-conforming, you are all welcome to join us and we would love to have you. Additionally, you can learn more by typing !FF in chat right now. Additionally, if you wanted to know more about the events we have planned for you, not only today, but throughout the rest of the marathon, you can type !schedule in chat right now, and it will give you a link to the schedule. Now, this is something that automatically updates in your local time zone. So it doesn't matter when you're checking it, where you're checking it from, it will always give you the most current and up-to-date information on what is happening, including information on what run you can expect to be coming up next, and any sort of bonus stuff we have planned for the day. Speaking of runs coming up next, we do have Perspective by Akko, which you've heard a lot about. We are a little over $650 towards our $1,500 goal for the bonus showcase. That will be open until the end of the run, so please keep those donations rolling if you're interested in seeing that happen. Additionally, if you are just joining us, maybe you didn't know that we have a couple sponsors today. I would like to thank the Yeti real quick for creating amazing merch, apparel, and vinyl for video games and pop culture. And for this event in specific, I have great news. A portion of the purchase price from all of the items in the Flame Fatales collection will be donated directly to Malala Fund. So if you want to check out the collection yourself, you can check out theyeti.com/flamefatales. Additionally, we have a couple other sponsors. We are sponsored by Heart Machine, which is the maker of Solar Ash. And if you want to know more about that, including their work at Hyperlight Breaker, you can visit heartmachine.com. Now, chat, I know you're excited. I know you're pumped. I know you're ready, because coming up very, very, very soon, we are going to have a run of Perspective. This is an inbounds run on the PC by a chocolate orange. And we will have that happening right away. So if we are ready, take it away, Akko.